over. Yeah, so for example, if I get 250,000 litre extension, then the extension will take 250,000 litres of triticale, which is what I need, and also give me potentially 750,000 litres of things like wheat and sunflowers and barley and all that stuff. Because it'll be plus 250 on what we already have. Okay, so that was trailer 4. I think we're going to have more than 5. That might be an issue for us, but we'll find out. Okay, at least now this lane is wide enough to turn around that trailer and tractor. So not going to be so much of a problem. I think we'll see. Oops, that was a bit crazy. Oh look, what I forgot to do. The problem with it forgetting is it's playing catch up. But obviously if I didn't turn it off in the first place, I would be paying worker wages for my whole escapade back to the main yard and back again. Kind of like to avoid that. Anyway, at least doing it this way, I can try and follow the path the harvester took and actually pick a little bit more of this up than the worker would have managed. And we are there, we are following, and we're going. Or I could go and get the bale collector and at least sell a few bales before the end of today. But I'm not going to tip another trailer a load at the moment, because that's just too much hassle, especially if I'm going to end up moving it. So, fun. Yeah, I'll only be able to come down here once more, and that will cut the top and bottom parts of that side off from each other. I'm not sure how we're going to do on the left there, so we'll find out. Yeah, look, how much was that harvester? It's only 285,000. This is 65,000 more than the one we have. What was the capacity? Wrong button. Capacity on that is 12.5. So 2 loads and a tiny bit more to fill up our trailer. I don't know, that might be a plan. Don't know where we're going to store the headers, because they're going to be that much longer. It's not going to be easy to reverse them into the shed. Okay then. Now I was watching a real life farmer the other day. He was using his backhoe to move his headers, because the bucket on the front of the backhoe has a bar which conveniently the header hooks will hook over, and he can position that where he wants. I think there is a wheel loader header attacher in the game. I'm not sure there's a telehandler one. I suppose we could check while we're unloading. Don't think I've got anything like that. Loaded telehandler to front loader. Translator. Don't know what a translator is. Oh, big bag handler. Someone suggested that for moving pallets around, which may be a plan. Shovel fork logs. Interesting. Double fork carriage for logs. That's kind of nice. Lifting arm, lifting hook, dozer blade, lightened blade. See, I could use something like that to push the grain back into the store. Yeah, I don't have anything to telehandler into, or to move the headers in with. But then you can leave the header trailers outside and put the headers away, but you need something wide, somewhere wide that you can put them in. So most of the sheds that I currently have are not really much use for putting big headers in sideways. Okay, another round of up and down. So yeah, it looks like this would be two passes to cut the top from the bottom here. Not a big deal. Problem with Farm Sim Child is she's finding out the same things I was about landscaping. Landscaping is something you should do in moderation. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. Oh, there's a little divot in the field. Use the leveling tool to level it out, and then use the... Probably easy to just get a plow and plow it back so you can use it again. One of the things I liked about, there was a painting tool in Farm Sim 17. There was a roller that you could basically roll the edge of the field and turn it back into grass. But someone did a mod on that roller that allowed you to paint gravel pathways or sort of the rotting leaves in a forest type of thing, and it had quite a lot of stuff, concrete slab, concrete sort of paving slabs, gravel, dirt. I think it did dirt with grass, and so you could just select a paint for that, and it was a lot easier to control because you're driving it with the tractor. And you can move the camera around the tractor very, very easily, get in close, and just make sure you're doing what you want. The problem I've found with the painting tool in Farm Sim 19 is I can't get close to the edge of the map, and on some maps it's the edge that's the problem. And so maybe, between that hedge, which is out of map bounds, and the edge of the field, I actually want to make the edge of the field a little bit wider, more grass, and I end up drawing in a bit that I don't want to draw in, and fixing it's a problem because I can't get close enough. I can't get the camera view close enough. And no one's done the mod on the in-game roller, but you've got that thing. With this machine, you can restore the initial ground state. Basically delete the fields. So I can drive down the edge of the fields with that and roll them into grass. And that's kind of a handy thing. It would be nice if I could also roll gravel or roll dirt. But not a thing for us. Okay, engine on. Okay, we're up to 13,000. So this will take us to about 70%, maybe 68. Whoa. Okay. A little bit of a switching noise from the UPS, so I guess there's been electrical storms around here. There aren't any close to us, but could be a little bit of a tweak in the electric supply, which is why you have UPS. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Done. Okay, and as expected, we have just separated the top half of the field from the bottom, although I don't think there's significant amounts of grain in either. But I'll come back up the left side again. I think there's probably 2 before we separate the bottom and the top on the left when we're stitching. What is the left? The south. And this isn't going to leave us with a full row. Once the trailer's full and the harvester's full, we'll jump over to the class, we'll collect some of the straw bales, take them back to the yard, and then we'll call it a day for this week. Oh, hey. That's an amazing guess. Couple of wider points. Now, in theory, I could be missing some of the harvestable crop. Sometimes the header cuts more than the graphic shows, and other times it doesn't, and there is a little bit of crop, but not enough to trigger it being displayed. What are we doing? 60%. Whoa! going on? Button didn't work.
Hair just want to do something to it. Look, it's like little hairs that can't get into the run. Then we have to wait until we get bouncing out of my hair.
Okay, so even coming back up here is not going to reach the edge of the field. Anyway, I think we're doing okay. So I haven't looked at the financial screen on this yet. Okay, we are about to be filled. And doop. $72.28. Oh, we are going to have 200 litres left in the harvester. And we've stopped right by a bale again. Of course we did. Okay, I will monitor this one since probably going to have to track forward a little as we're filling it. A little bit. We'll do the tail. Stop. Stay stopped. And full. Alright, like I said, 200 litres left in the... No, that wasn't the plan. 200 litres left in the grain tank. Should be able to finish off that middle block. So it's not a full row, nowhere near a full row, although there is a fair amount. Gonna have to do a little bit of shenanigans at the top end there. That little triangle there is not really ideal. It is what it is. Night Vale Gaming is hosting. Thank you. And welcome to the stream. So we have... I'll complete this section here. And then we'll jump down. We'll just track down the field, picking up bits that didn't fit well. I do want to check the... Oh, let's cruise control on. Okay. Where was it? Headers. That's 7 meters. So I'm definitely thinking the FS19 series or 9000 series is going to be a good upgrade for us. Going for something like the Tucano is not. And going for the Lexion, it's just kind of bigger than we need for now. I do, yeah. This one served us well. Give it that much. Okay. Ooh, this is less than ideal. Okay. So, yay that bit. It's difficult to say. I generally play 6-day seasons just because it's kind of convenient. This farm is getting on the large side, so that it's getting to the point where harvesting all the fields in fall can be a big challenge considering the weather. I'm playing, this is Oakfield Farming Agency Edition, which includes its own Seasons Geo. So one tailored for where Oakfield Farm is based in the real world. And it does rain a lot in fall, so you end up being unable to harvest for 2 or 3 days. And in a 6-day season, that can be a disaster. So this one I'm playing 9-day, and it's probably one of the first I've played 9-day. The other thing you can do is play with the game speed. So some of the playthroughs I've done in the past, I've basically said minimum game speed is ×5. So while I'm playing, I have to run at ×5 or faster. So if I get to the point where it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I've done everything I need to do today, and I just want to get to the sleep point, I can boost the speed up to 120, but when I return it back to quotes normal, I have to be running at least ×5 on that particular playthrough. This one, I'm not too worried about. I'm playing real time a lot of the time. So I've got enough time to harvest 2 fields a day. But we have about 10 fields, I think. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we got 11 fields. A couple of them are grass. Some of them are, what are we doing? Clover, because we have sheep. And then the rest are arable crops, including sugar beets and potatoes. And obviously sugar beets and potatoes, it eats into your harvesting time because they are very labour intensive. When I started this series, it was on Oxygen David's base version of this map, and I played 6-day seasons. It was still a challenge at times, but it wasn't completely impossible. As we bought more and bigger fields, we're getting to the point now where I need a bigger harvester so I can harvest in a shorter length of time. I need lots of other different things, and so for that we end up playing with the game speed, playing with the length of seasons. But typically you probably want to be looking at a excuse me while I find what I want. Class axing could do nicely. It's sort of I want the game to still have challenges, but not to be completely. I don't want to be planting 10 fields and only be able to harvest 4 of them because of the weather. And while the weather is a factor, the more days you have, I could still, with 9-day seasons, end up with 5 days of rain in the fall, which is a disaster, but 5 days of rain in the fall still means I've got 4 to harvest, whereas if I'm playing 6-day seasons and I get 4 days of rain, then I'm kind of stuck because there's only 2 days left to harvest. So that's really my driving point, is length of season is based on how big the farm is, how big the equipment is, how much of a challenge I want. Part of the reasons I'm growing potatoes and sugar beets is because I think you can harvest them when the crop is wet. I don't think you can harvest them when it's raining, but I think you can harvest them when the crop is wet. So, although some of the mod harvesters don't let you, so you have to watch that. But if you're using in-game harvesters, I think it's possible to harvest when wet. So, it's not quite as much of a disaster, but like I said, sugar beets and potatoes are a lot more labour intensive. So you have to consider that. It takes me probably 3 or 4 real-time hours longer to harvest, say, this field of sugar beets than it does to harvest this field of we're just doing triticale, which is a cereal, so similar to wheat or things, barley, oats, that type of thing. Okay, must remember to ignore the grass bale this time. I might as well make a little bit of money this day. Pay the workers. So we'll grab some straw. Don't think it tells us straw. Yeah, it doesn't tell us because seasons. So it doesn't matter where I take the straw. We just want it sold. So I'll probably use Oakfield farm sell point because it's the most convenient. 10. And we can probably just finish up the outside row here. 11. So, any other questions? I mean, I'm happy to answer questions, that's not a problem. In real life, I am a computer programmer, so I tend to approach these sorts of things from how the program works as opposed to how real life farming works. Although I try and stick to what I've seen real life farmers doing as close as you can do within the game confines. I am playing in part to the program. I am also using precision farming, which is the first time I've done it, and interesting. To see how, where is the stores there?